Youths are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the catalysts of today. With their energy, innovation, and courage, young people hold the potential to transform societies, drive change, and shape a more inclusive and progressive future. So what does leadership look like through the lenses of youths? Is it much more than holding positions of authority or making decisions from boardrooms? Youth's leadership is about stepping up, taking initiative, and inspiring others to get involved. Today in this discussion, we'll be exploring the vital role youths play in leadership, the challenges they face, and the pathways to empowering next generations of decision makers. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us on another interesting episode. I am Fatima Ahmed, and this is Youth Connect. Now let's go on a quick break, and when we return, you get to meet my guest, and we go into the discussion proper after this break. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me in the studio, Trust TV here in Abuja. Now, joining me in the studio is Etoh. He's a public commentator. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Fatima, for having me.
And we have Lauretta Anolaba. She's an administrator and event planner. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Fatima. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, we are discussing leadership, Collins.
Yeah.
What does leadership mean to you?
Okay, to me, leadership is the ability to carry everybody along and then drive people to a path where they achieve whatever they set out to achieve, be it individual goal or organizational goal. So yeah, the ability to drive people and move them to a particular position for good. Yeah. So
how about you, Lauretta? What does leadership mean?
I also concur with Collins. I think leadership is knowing the right path you're taking and being able to lead people to follow you correctly, because leadership can be positive or negative. And being a leader who doesn't know the right path to follow can also be destructive. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, definitely. I love the fact that you said it's a double-edged sword, because it's one thing to look at it in a different angle. But do you believe that youths are given enough opportunities when it comes to leadership in our society today?
Fatima, I don't know, how long have we had this conversation around?
I mean, for decades, for a long time. Definitely.
Yeah, it's like a recurring decimal. Every time every election cycle, we get to talk about are youth ready. In fact, we even had to, at one point get this, what they call it, this, is it the drive? Not too young to run.
Not too young to run.
Yeah, and so, we've had series and series of conversations around if youths are ready, but to me, I feel like it shouldn't be a conversation. It should be something that we, get into, we just phase ourselves into it. If we go back in history, we'll see that those people who started power, who got power after independence, were all young people. But we would like to see that those of them who started at that time, they're still here in occupying the leadership space. So I think that's where there's a big disconnect, but definitely we don't need to talk about handing youths the leadership position. The youth are already in leadership positions.
Lauretta, I mean, talking about, looking at it from the angle where Collins is coming from, if you look at the situation of Nigeria now, and the Not Too Young to Run bill has been passed for a very long time now, but we have not seen youths actually participating in politics. Do you think the leaders now in the office, they feel like youths are not ready to occupy some of those offices, and hence the reason why they are not giving them the chance?
Yes, Fatima, I agree with you. They think we're not ready. They think we're not capable. They think we're not prepared for what they have passed through or what they're about to hand over to us. And it's sad, because if they keep having this, there's this issue of trust between us and the elderly. They don't think that we have the capacity. They think we're too distracted. They think we're too opinionated. They think we know too much, but we don't know at all. They might be right to some extent, but I don't totally agree with that decision, because if they were not given a chance, how would they know they could also lead? They had to be given a chance by someone before after them, before them, right? And that person took a chance on them. So why don't they take a chance on us and see what we are able to come up with, what we are able to create? I mean, we could see from social media alone, they could see what we have created, right? We are of a generation where we are not waiting for the government anymore. We are doing things on our own. We have the social media units, we have the crypto units, we have different means of making money. We have the what do they call them, the influencers and all that. This is enough, or these are enough evidences to prove to them that we can bring that change that they look forward to, you know, seeing. But the trust is not there, and it's sad at this point because we are still struggling for what is supposed to have been ours years ago. So it's a sad development, but yes, they don't trust us enough.
Okay, she emphasized on trust, and I saw you nodding your head.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that? Because I feel it goes a long way when we build that trust for people to also be able to trust us. Looking at the, you know, the situation of youths in Nigeria now, we see drug abuses, you see the kind of, you know, ritual killings, money making by all means kind of activity that goes on. Do you think that's one reason? Would you think it could be part of the reason why they don't trust the youths?
So we can't paint everybody with one brush, and then I think the statistics show that we have over 60% of our population under 25. So it means that in every conversation we are having in Nigeria, there's going to be a semblance of youth in it.
Yep.
You can't even run from it. If you go to the National Assembly today, every single person who's an advisor, SLA or whatever, they are all youths.
Yep.
Every presidential candidate have youths in their communication, you know, I don't know what they call them, in their setup. You cannot do without the youths. And so I don't know, for a while now, you've not heard like any person over 60 years is doing any groundbreaking innovation. I don't know. It's always the youths. You know, we have them, like Lauretta said, we have youths in digital space, we have them in the social media space, you have them in art and different. So if we are doing that, if we are doing so much, what is exactly so special about political space? Because you can only show as much energy in every other sector for you to be considered a leader. So if we're leading in every other space, why is it special that we need some form of training, shaping to, you know, to lead our country the right way? So I don't feel it's trust. I feel like I want to call it gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, yeah. But then how will, you know, can youths prepare themselves for leadership positions in Nigeria? Because we are in Nigeria. If you say we want to look at it globally or in Africa, it's going to be broader. But talking about Nigeria, how do youths need to prepare themselves for them to be able to take the leadership positions that they feel they deserve?
I feel, what preparation do we need? At this point, I think we're prepared. We have accountability to some extent, you know, especially if you look at various sectors, like you said, that has youths there. Are those youths accountable? Do they bring to the table what is expected of them? Do they, you know, flourish in their different departments? Are they really doing that bad? You know, the issue here is, I think the point at which we are ready for leadership, or the signs that we are ready for leadership is obvious from the NSAS protest, for example. You could see the agitation. You could see how people came out to speak about the injustice happening to different people from different parts of Nigeria, and how we are saying, okay, enough is enough. Yeah. We need this thing to stop. It shows that these young people are ready for that change that we need Nigeria to have. It's already evident. I don't know what other preparation they need from us. I don't know what they expect from us. I don't know. Maybe the expectation is so high, so they put a lot of expectations to the youth. Okay, let's see what they can do, or let me see. We are diligent. I don't want to speak less about the Nigerian youth, because I've seen really strong, hardworking, accountable people around me. We are diligent. We are go-getters. We are dedicated. I don't believe that the Nigerian youths are lazy from that controversy.
Yeah.
We are not. We have proven over time, from the apps we create to this form of this banking system of payments that we've created, a lot of things have shown that we are ready, but they're not giving it to us. And it's really sad at this point, because I don't know what else they want from us. I don't know what we need to prove to the ones before us or the ones ahead of us that we need to become for them to know. The youngest person in your establishment, your office, your organization, how well are they carrying out their jobs? How well are they doing? Are they diligent enough? If you have 20, 15, if the 15 of them are good to go, why are you bothered about the 5? Because the majority is the key that you should be looking at, not the ones who are defaulting. The 15 of them, if they are good to go in your establishment, then I think it's high time they beat their chest and just know that we're ready for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, she spoke about the NSAS. We also saw the willingness that, youth came out during the hunger protest, the End Bad Governance as well, which we know that anytime protest or anything of sort begins, it begins with the youths, But what quality makes a good leader?
Okay, so we have a plethora of them, to be very honest, and then I would like to start with ability to listen, because a lot of things happen when you listen. A lot of changes, you can correct even wrong decisions you've made, and so your ability to listen and be empathetic means that you are ready to shift. So. If we go back to what we are dealing with, talking about the youth, we are even growing up in an environment that our parents sometimes didn't have a lot of this opportunity to mix with a lot of people. Say some of I'm Igbo, I'm from the southeast. I know my parents probably did not meet an Hausa man or a Yoruba man until they came to Abuja, which is years into their adulthood. But growing up, I grew up with a lot of different tribes. I've associated with a lot of them both in school and at home, and I know how to manage emotions from different cultures. So it gives us an edge as youth, because we can survive anywhere, we can thrive anywhere, we can work with different people. I'm telling you, some of our leaders still have prejudice against some people from different tribes, and it still shows. Go and rent a house from an elderly person, say, no, I'm gonna give my house to a Yoruba person or to an Igbo person. But we can't do that because we already understand ourselves. We know how to live through ourselves. So I feel like leadership from our own point of view is going to be different. It's going to be transformational, because we are not only getting local input, we also have access to international space and how things are being done. So I going back to what I said, listening, having some serious form of empathy, not being cultural bias, and be ready to carry everybody along. Like I keep saying, it's the ability to carry everybody along and not look at people from different perspective. I think that's
and also make decision at the time that as a leader you have to stand by your decision. Well, let's go on a quick break, and when we return we'll continue this discussion. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about, making decisions, listening, and, carrying everybody along as a good leader. Those are the qualities. But in what ways can youth be involved in community development and nation building? Lauretta.
Oh, I would say for nation building, join a political party. I don't believe in this APC, PDP, LP issue. Join a political party that fits into your narrative. Find one, join one. We need to be part of the system. It's tiring that we can't all be apolitical, or we cannot all be there's a name for it. We can't all just stand by and watch and then complain. We need to be part of the political system. Do we want this change to happen? we start attending party meetings, we start just be a part of it. And then for community, you know, join a voluntary team. I believe in, you know, impacting lives. I believe in, you know, being part of a system that enforces change. We have NGOs everywhere who are looking for volunteers. We have, you know, little groups here and there that help out when it comes to community development. They go to IDP camps, they empower people, they empower women, children, men. You know, we have social working groups. And, you know, that's a good way to start in regards to leadership. Impact. Impact is key. We need to, you know, start raising Nigerians that are looking forward to be to be able to impact people. It's high time we end this whole mentality of, the system owes me, they need to give me. It's time we start saying, how do I give back to Nigeria? Because it's the give me thingy that has kept us where we are. Nobody wants to give back. Nobody wants to put into the society. Yes, I don't blame anybody, because how much is the society or the economy putting into us, right? So it can be draining, it can be exhausting. But it's high time we, you know, make impact. One of the ways we can, you know, push into leadership. So politically, economically, socially, community-wise, impact is key. You know, putting yourself out there is key.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. And looking at, you know, other structures and other regime that has come and gone, if we're to compare this current structure, the leadership structure that we have currently, would you say that they support youth inclusivity when it comes to, you know, politics or even leadership roles?
You're putting me in a very dicey position. But we are commentators, and so we definitely have to, you know, just look, also speak. So in a democracy, we're all supposed to, you know, enjoy the dividends, and also for certain reasons we're supposed to be part of it. Yeah. So I can't really remember the Obasanjo regime, because I was really still in secondary school, but at least I read a lot, so I know things that happened. So, but I feel like a lot of the people who were around at that time were people who had just come from the military era, so and they had the experience to you know, take up positions at that time. So I wouldn't count that as a yardstick to how much youth were involved. But looking from Dr. Goodluck Jonathan's time, and then to President Buhari, we saw a lot of youth involvement, a lot of youth started taking up positions, especially when they started to see that they needed to make that move, so things won't always be against you know, against us. This present administration has done well, especially with regards to youth appointments, not just youth, also women, but they haven't gotten to that threshold that we were told. And so I hear conversations around affirmative action, and some people are saying, no, you don't just put the threshold on that. Let's allow a lot of women get into the conversation. So, you know, as much as we sit here and talk about youth participation, at the same time, when we push the youth up, the people who go up there are still men. So we still need to talk about how women are represented, not just even women, we're talking about young women. So the women who are there are the ones who have been in politics for years. So how many times do we see women of young girls of, say, 30 years to 20 years in
Do you think they may be
space?
scared to join politics because of, you know, some of the kind of stories or the kind of, you know, things
But
that comes with politics?
It's obvious. It's not just, it's our style of politics. You know, I have an uncle who is a politician. I know he goes for meeting around 2 a.m. So would you want to leave your house around 2 a.m. to go for, and then come back, you know, when the country is not even safe? So so we need to start doing things differently for people to begin to want to join. So if I'm thinking of joining politics, I'm thinking, am I safe? When the whole thing begins to, you know, ruffle up, am I strong enough to withstand the heat? So I think people just like to be, let me just stay on my own and just gingerly take my own, you know, be cool off here, so nobody at home is crying when I leave my house to go for a meeting. So But that being said, I think this government is doing well. We've seen good appointments here and there, but we know they can do better, and then we are hopeful that 2 years is enough time for them to have more youth in the system. So.
Collins is scared to say whether this particular structure is working or not, but we know what outside the people outside are saying. But look, talking about now, leaders and holding them accountable. When we look at what people like VDM is doing, and then other activists also, that are working closely with him or, on their own. Do you think a lot of people have the fear to hold the leaders accountable, or a fear of retaliation as well?
Oh, there will always be that fear of retaliation. There will always be that fear of, what if I get killed on this pilgrim journey? Because the Nigerian system has been designed in a way that if you're fighting for a good cause, it seems like you're fighting alone. And in a country of over 200 million people, your
we are
voice
not certain about that, because now we people have been killed, a lot of people have been dying. Consensus is yet to,
exactly. Approximately 200 million people, the echo will be loud, because it will seem like you're standing alone. So for people like VDM, people like Harrison Gwamishu, people like Ahmed Issa, they are really trying their best to, be that, change agents. And we need a lot more people than them. We need a lot more people than them, right? I also belong to a group called KICAS Club, where we talk about various issues concerning the country. So we are also a voice on the sidelines, doing our own thing in our own small circle, but we still need more people to speak up. We still need to remove that fear. There's that fear, I won't lie. There have been people who spoke up. We can't find them today. If you go on Twitter, there are people missing. There are people who have been thrown into God knows where because they spoke. And then they try to, tell us what to speak about and what not to speak about. There's this hindrance. So we are free, but are we really free? Because they said there's freedom of speech, but there's no freedom of after speech. So we want a Nigeria where if I'm feeling a certain kind of way about the government, I come out to speak respectfully. I'm not saying, give room to people who just speak anyhow, people who are, a hazard. But people who are strategic with the way they speak, people who, fight strategically when it comes to fighting the government for our rights, should be given the platform to speak, should be given more space, and should, let's go of that fear. I mean, I think we are getting to that point where Nigeria has a fair justice system. I dare say we are getting there, but I think we can speak right now compared to the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I'm delighted to have the both of you, be part of this discussion and to contribute to your quota. I'm sure a lot of people are going to learn from what you've said. Thank you so much, Collins, for being a part of it. And Lauretta, thank you for taking out your time to be here. Well, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind our audience that your voices matters. Young people can indeed be the change makers we need. So step out, take charge, and lead with purpose. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Youth Connect. Join us next week as we continue to explore impactful topics that affect youths today. Thank you for listening, and until next time, remember, your future starts now. Bye for now.